Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between mountains, there lived a young man named Marcus. He was not the strongest or the smartest, but he had a burning desire to achieve something great. The problem was he didn't know how. Every day he would set goals for himself, to train harder, to learn more, to become better. But by the end of the day he would feel exhausted and defeated. His dreams felt too big, and his willpower felt too small. One evening, as Marcus sat by the fire, his grandfather, an old and wise man, noticed his frustration. "Why do you look so troubled, my boy?" he asked. Marcus sighed and explained how his goals seemed impossible to reach. His grandfather smiled gently and said, "Have you ever heard of the Stoics?" Marcus shook his head. "Then let me tell you about them," his grandfather said. The Stoics were ancient philosophers who believed in mastering the mind to overcome any obstacle. They didn't rely on luck or wishes. They relied on discipline, reason, and action. If you want to crush your goals, you must think like a Stoic. Marcus leaned in, eager to learn. His grandfather continued, "The first Stoic principle is to focus only on what you can control. You cannot control the weather, other people's opinions, or unexpected events, but you can control your effort, your attitude, and your actions. Most people waste energy worrying about things they cannot change. A Stoic saves that energy for what truly matters." Marcus thought about this. He realized he often worried about failing or what others might think. But if he focused only on what he could control, his own effort, then fear would have no power over him. The second principle, his grandfather said, is to embrace discomfort. The Stoics believe that hardship is not your enemy. It is your teacher. If you want to become stronger, you must train in difficult conditions. If you want to become wiser, you must seek challenges, not avoid them. Comfort makes you weak. Struggle makes you strong. Marcus remembered how he often avoided hard tasks because they were unpleasant. But now he understood that avoiding discomfort was the reason he wasn't improving. The third principle, his grandfather continued, is to break your goals into small, manageable steps. A Stoic does not say, "I will climb the entire mountain today," he says. "I will take one step, then another." Big goals are achieved through small, consistent actions. Do not overwhelm yourself. Just focus on the next step. Marcus realized he had been trying to do too much at once. Instead of training for hours and burning out, he could train for short periods, but do it every day. The fourth principle is to accept failure as part of the journey. The Stoics knew that setbacks are inevitable, but they also knew that failure is not the end, it is feedback. If you fall, you learn. Then you stand up and try again, wiser than before. Marcus had always feared failure, but now he saw it differently. Failure wasn't something to avoid. It was something to learn from. The fifth and final principle, his grandfather said, is to remember why you started. When the path gets hard, your mind will try to convince you to quit. A Stoic does not follow fleeting emotions. He follows purpose. Remind yourself of your deeper reason. Is it to prove something to yourself? To help others? To live without regrets? Hold on to that reason tightly, and it will pull you forward. Marcus felt a fire ignite inside him. For the first time he saw a clear path to his goals. He thanked his grandfather and began applying the Stoic principles the very next day. He started small. Instead of worrying about the future, he focused only on what he could do that day. When discomfort came, he welcomed it, knowing it was making him stronger. He broke his big dreams into tiny tasks and celebrated each small victory. When he failed, he didn't give up, he learned. And whenever he felt like quitting, he reminded himself why he had begun in the first place. Months passed. Then years. Marcus grew stronger, wiser, and more disciplined. The boy who once doubted himself became a man who others looked up to. He had not just reached his goals, he had crushed them. And so, the lesson was clear. Goals are not crushed by luck or talent. They are crushed by discipline, by resilience, by the relentless pursuit of progress. The Stoics knew this truth centuries ago, and now Marcus knew it too. If you want to crush your goals, remember these principles. Focus on what you can control. Embrace discomfort. Take small, consistent steps. Learn from failure. And never forget why you started. The path will not be easy, but it will be worth it. And just like Marcus, you will look back one day and see how far you've come. Not by chance, but by choice. By the power of Stoic principles. By the strength of your own will.